first real view of the day. Got a lake down there, which is where I think we're heading. All the joints are stiff and all that. That's usual, even on like a short day. There's some blowdowns back there. And I stopped and just lifting your leg over the tree. I was like, oh, my hip flexors are jacked. This is a heck of a burn. Jesus. If I get this 30 in, it'll only be 17 to Mazama Village. So we'll get there in the early afternoon and probably chill out all day. And then in the morning, get breakfast at the cafe there, which I'm really looking forward to. And then hike like 7 miles to Crater Lake and just chill at the lodge there for a good bit of the afternoon. But gotta get there first. Oh, that's cool. Into the shade, all right. Way out. Shoot, I can't even tell where it is. Oh, never mind. This is a heck of a burn area. I feel so much better this morning. I had 2 dinners last night. It's like 1,000 calories or more. Without talking about it, we both kind of wordlessly agreed, I think, to sleep in, because I remember hearing someone packing up like 100 yards down the trail and just didn't move, and I slept in like another hour and a half, and that seems to have made a huge difference. I think a big part of my funk yesterday was it was just the same old. It was almost like the AT, like the green tunnel, but even like more featureless somehow. Or, you know, not that the whole AT sucks, but you know what I mean. And I don't have any music. My headphones are broken, or rather I lost that little connector piece between like a normal headphone jack and an iPhone. So I can't listen to music without being a jerk. I've always hated it when people like blast it out of their pocket or something. And I'm also out of podcasts. And those actually the other day I did resort to putting it in my chest pocket and just putting it like on super low volume. And because it just makes the time fly by when you're like, your brain's like engaged in something. And here I was already having a bad day, slogging through this flat trail through the same trees over and over. It was just nothing but whatever was burning a hole into my brain, whatever I was thinking about at the time. It was just, it made like 5 miles seem like 50, you know. But today I have the hope of town soon, and a hot meal and maybe a beer, and then hopefully Wi-Fi, even though it's a national park, which means if they have service it'll still suck, but hopefully I can just download like every single Radiolab podcast out there and have something to stimulate my brain a little bit. All right, entering Crater Lake National Permit required, huh? Well, look at this red carpet, and yet every step hurts. I got these, I had this in the AT too, these blisters in the backs or the sides of my heels, but like under the calluses that have already formed, like these nasty blood blisters that are almost impossible to pop to. On the AT, by the end, I just dealt with the pain, and they're back, so it makes going downhill pretty shitty. But now, like every step, it's softer now that I'm on pine needles, but I think just my feet hurt in general. I know I've been pushing just the whole 17 just to make it to Mazama, which is probably part of it. I haven't stopped to take my ibuprofen. I didn't stop to take that hour lunch break, you know, or like the snack break. But man, ow. Whoa. Jesus. It's much larger than I thought.
Isn't that cool?
It's so blue. Yeah, I'm surprised we're not thronged with people and cameras. Look how blue it is.
Oh, there's the overlook right there.
That's a cool building. We'll check it out.
Wow. What'll really make it? Like,
This is just normal trail view. It's like this the whole way. Look how cruisy this is. And then to your right, boosh. I mean, look at, you could skateboard down this thing. And these views, ridiculous. Real close, you can see some docks and like tiny little cabins down there. It'd be cool to get down there and, you know, maybe hang a hammock in those trees. Yeah. I don't think it's likely though. See that boat, that little speck on the right pole? That thing holds like 50 to 100 people for scale. Yeah, I was getting ready to take off the old Crocs and don the smelly trail runners once again. A lady came up to me, looks at me, and she's like, "Pacific Crest, are you a thru hiker?" And I like looked down at myself where like I'm covered in filth and dirt. I was like, "Yes, ma'am." She's like, "Can I buy you something? I'm buying you a beer." And then she turns to her husband. He goes, "Honey, give me your wallet." And she goes in there, flags down a waitress. I'm like, "It's really okay. I'm getting ready to leave. It's no big deal. If the waitress doesn't come, no worries." And I think she, like my own mom on the AT, was just like, "I will be a trail angel today." And the waitress came out. She ordered me a beer and everything, and they sat there. And then they came back out with her husband's card because it was international and needed PIN and other info and stuff. And the whole time her husband and her son were just sitting there like this, so over it. And she's just like gushing. And I'm like, "Thank you, sir, son, ma'am," you know, like being all friendly. And the beer comes and they just get up and walk away. And she's like still like lingering. It was kind of awkward. But it was still really cool. Oh, that's a new angle. Really. Still really cool. And I was so pleased. I put on my shoes and started leaving with nibbles and made it a whole half mile away before I realized my battery bank was still in there charging. I was like, ugh. Oh, the injustice. There's not a lot out there quite as painful as backtracking. Oof. For a thru hiker anyway. But still, it's a nice little surprise. And this trail with these nice smooth, so you can check it out behind me, nice smooth pine, just epic views the whole time. It's like deceivingly large, like that patch out there between the shore and those like little islands. From up here, it looks like you can see the water's so clear, you can see the bottom from so far, so it kind of looks like, you know, a coastal like tide zone. But then you see one of those boats going right through that little channel and realize it's like 500 yards across and probably super deep, and no one's walking across that sucker. But man, the coves down there in that island, it's so turquoise. It's like, I'm actually not on the PCT right now. This is the Crater Lake alternate, which is kind of silly. They should just call it the PCT because this is much prettier, shorter, easier, and obviously, I mean, prettier. You can see the lake, and you cannot. The PCT avoids the lake. So literally, I don't actually think I've spoken to a hiker that intentionally stayed on the PCT. Like, why would you do that? Also, from what I hear now, the actual PCT has been closed due to aggressive mountain lion activity. I mean, I want to see one as much as the next person, but aggressive is kind of scary. Although, out here, there's one water source for 20 miles, which is why I'm huffing and puffing. I've got like almost 4 liters of water in my pack. And the rest I'm going to have to tell you after this hill. Holy crap. That one water source in 20 miles is like 10 from me now. And it is up a side trail called Lightning Spring Trail, I think, which leads to the only legal camping spot on this trail. And that camping spot is kind of between us and the PCT. That also is closed due to mountain lion activity. So I think I'm going to bypass that trail, even though, since this is my story, naturally I just assume if I saw a mountain lion, we would become friends and I would have a cool mountain lion buddy. Alas, more realistically, he's probably going to look at me through all the layer of dirt and ground I have on me, stare at those calves, and just purr with hunger. So, I'm carrying this 4 liters, 10 miles to camp. So maybe this brings in 5 miles. I don't know. Don't listen to me. 10 miles to camp, dry camping. So there's another liter for dinner and all that. And then another 5 to 10 miles tomorrow until we hit water. So, which should be a very light pack is now no longer. but it's kind of okay even though some of these hills are steep, just because, man, we keep seeing that the whole way. The whole way. It's worth mentioning, the other side of the rim is pretty too. I'm not digging these clouds though. I was checking the weather the other day, and I don't know what app he uses, but they've been, maybe it's just a West Coast versus East Coast thing, but his weather readings have been surprisingly accurate. And maybe tonight, if not tomorrow morning, and then all day tomorrow, I think we're supposed to get dumped on. Maybe the day after. Man, lodge way back over there. This would be a cool place to see the sunset if the clouds let up. But either way, I think I'm going to be another 5 or 6 miles worth here before that happens. Still, cool place. Alright, last gig video. See this giant cliff over there? That is called like Louse Rock or some such. But so, where are we? This whole big expansive spot used to be, a giant like 12,000 foot mountain. And that cliff over there was basically like a little pimple, a little blackhead of magma that burst out and formed that whole, well, it used to be like, a whole cone. And then when this giant, expansive, what used to be mountain collapsed, that whole sheer face of lava rock is all that's left. So, you're over at Crater Lake and you see like cliffs of lava rock and you're like, wow, why is that such a sheer cliff? Boosh, it was a zit on a volcano that imploded. Send your checks to Rhys. The more you know. Back there, I just remembered I was chatting with a young couple from Atlanta. They drove out here, or flew out here for, a vacation, I guess we call that. They were telling me about, Cascade Locks in Portland and everywhere they've been. We just, chatted and walked for a bit while it was nice and flat back there. And then the trail got narrow and they let me go in front, because I'm pretty fast these days. And as I got in front, I heard them start whispering to each other. And I just figured they were talking about how like filthy I am from the hips down. And then I heard the husband say something about my calves, and I was like, vanity. Now all I have to do is keep my back, belly, chest, arms, and shoulders covered for the rest of my days, and I'm good. Yeah. Hang on. There's a trail going way up there. I really hope that's not the trail I'm supposed to be on, because this one's nice and flat, and wouldn't you know it? I don't know if you can see, but maybe like 20, 50, I don't know, 30 yards in front of me, there's a deer hanging out right on the trail. Let's go say hi. Hey, bud. Hey, buddy. You don't even care. I mean, you're. I have to go towards you, bud. There you go. There's a good boy or girl. What are you, a doe? She's keeping that tree between us. I got you. Safety in trees. Hey. What's up? Sorry. Oh, there's a gentleman up ahead who's, I'm sure we've all done it. When you jump in the air and throw all your legs out and you hope the person gets the picture like right at the apex of the jump. There's a guy trying to do it up there like 3 or 4 times. And he looked and saw me looking right at him and instantly stopped and walked back to the car with like his friends laughing. Oh, selfie shamed. As I'm talking to my camera walking towards him.